God is willing to make an impact if a church is willing to make a contact. Who is it that God has placed in your circles that you have an opportunity to bless this week? Who is it that as we run out of here and do life, that you can continue to point to a relationship with Jesus Christ? As a result of this early church giving their lives over, devoting to the main things, they saw revival continuously day by day. In fact, it's amazing. This church started with 120 people in Acts 1. Paul says in 1 Corinthians 15 is around 500. They went to 3,000 in Acts chapter 2. 25 years later, they grew to 50,000 people. 220 or 50 years later, 8 million people. Today, there are 2.2 billion Christ followers in the world, demographers tell us. And as we leave here today, I want to very quickly give you 5 things to bless others as we continue to follow Christ. There was a group of missiologists that went to Thailand, and there were 2 different approaches in how they shared the gospel. One was converts only, no relationships. They were just sharing the gospel, door to door, business to business. And so they did this for 2 years. The other group used a blessed strategy, a relational way to share the gospel. And after 2 years, the group that only focused on converts saw 2 people accept Christ. But those who used blessed, a relational strategy, they saw 100 people accept Christ. And so we have, for the last year, we have said, look, as a way of life, in sharing and showing the gospel, we are giving our lives to this intentional strategy of blessing others. The beauty of this is that it allows you to share the gospel in a way in which God has made you. And so if that's the Roman road or the ABCs or faith evangelism or creation, fall, restoration, glory, just whatever it is the Lord uses, you can use that. But as you walk out of here and do life, and as you've seen this miracle of God by the Spirit through our first brothers and sisters, what is it this week that you can use, that God can have an opportunity to share the gospel through you? Number one, it just begin with prayer to build a relationship. Who is it this week that God has placed in your circle? Secondly, listen with the privilege of responding with the gospel, but have a posture of understanding the depths of this person, what they've been through, in order to better present Christ. Thirdly, eat with someone and talk about Christ. Use these meals that God has given us as a means to point people to Christ. Fourthly, serve. Man, if you see a need, meet a need. Point people to Christ. Finally, share his story. May God, as he's done in his early church, take something small and have a big impact. May God take some intentionality and devotion of us to multiply in and through us his Spirit and his glory. And may we truly be the church that makes